Boom, off and running again. Another brief meeting for the BizDev Morning Brew. So we're going to discuss business development as well as sales, pain points, problems, issues, and anything that has to do with improving our overall business of our business and creating a better relationship with our customers as well as with ourselves. So we talked about a few things over the last couple of calls as we got rolling into this new idea of me sitting here and discussing some pain points and issues that I kind of go over with most of the people that I discuss on a daily basis. So sharing this with the rest of you to see if they can assist you with any of the issues you have. Doing this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. And if you would like to join the call or send in some information to me to discuss, please send me a message. Link below, above, to the side, whichever. So we talked about prospecting, we talked about prospects, and we also discussed a little bit more about putting the why into all of this. So what prospecting is pretty basic and simple. It's kind of easy to understand. However, it is very important to keep the basics in your mind when you're going through these things, because you definitely don't want to lose the idea of what you're doing. With that said, the why is also deeply important in the emotion behind the why. So I'm going to break my own rules here, and I'm going to talk about the how. So if you sit and talk with me long enough and you discuss any of the modules that I've trained under, or if you go through any of the module training programs that I've gone through, you will discover that it is very important for you to have the belief structure behind what you're doing, which really builds the purpose and the why behind things. And once you have that, you can gain the capability and the processes of how to change your habits, restructure your business, and get things moving in alignment with your belief. And then all of a sudden you start to discover the how, the strategy of how you're going to accomplish what you're doing, brings you to the results. But it must begin with the belief and your strong belief. So when you're sitting in there, and then I hear this all the time, it's like, especially with team members, and especially with the teams that I lead, the sales reps always ask, well, how do I get this done? Benny, I'm calling these guys, I'm doing the things that you're telling me to do, I'm doing the things that we've outlined in the SOP, and how are we going to get this done? They're not calling me back. They're not answering the phone. They're not returning the emails. How? Okay. So with this call, we will touch on a little bit of some how. All right. Now, so get a pen and paper and write this down, because this is not the normal stuff that you really want, that I would usually put out in any advice. And there's a disclaimer with this. You are responsible for taking action always. Nothing is going to be just done. I don't care how many automating systems you have. I don't care how many people you have working with you. I don't care if you got your girlfriend, your wife, your cousin. I don't care if you've got a list of 1 million contacts. You need to take action. You will always need to take action. So with that said, here we go. I've got broken down to 5 basic hows. 5 basic subjects of how. All right, because I know everybody likes to have lists. They like to have the top 5 things. So I really categorize this into 5 topics, and they're not in any specific order except for the very first one. The first one is your self prep. So number 1 is self prep. This basically means your morning routine. Your internal dialogue, how you talk to yourself, is very, very important. Must be positive about what you're doing, and definitely cheer yourself on as you get in the morning, as you get going in the morning, or you get going actually after you've woken up. I know some people have second shifts and they work later in the evening. So whenever you're up and getting ready to do your thing, dedicate at least an hour Sometimes if you can a couple hours, but dedicate at least an hour to taking care of you, making sure you're in the right frame of mind to go after the things that you need to go after. So self prep is number one. So after you've gotten your self prep, for an example, my self prep, I get up in the morning. I'm usually up at 5. You don't have to get up at 5, but I get up at 5, mainly because I go to bed probably around 8 or 9 o'clock, and it's just when I'm tired from the day. And I get up and I meditate. I do qigong exercise, which is a breathing exercise and a form of meditation. And I do movement to stretch the body around and get things going. I also do a series of exercises just to get the blood flowing and to exercise the body. And this gets everything flowing, the circulation going, blood to the brain. And I continuously repeat to myself a good little mantra of, that keeps me motivated. So, letting myself know that I'm a good guy and I'm going to get things done today. So this gets to focus on the right things, and it makes sure that I am outcome focused as I go in to my workday. So these are little things that you can take on for yourself. And remember, when you're working on your routine, to be positive, always be positive. Okay, number 2, when you are preparing to get into your workspace, if you are in sales, and specifically this is for business development. So as for the wider range of business development, this also applies. When you're going after your market and you're getting started in your market, you want to start in the one space and branch out. So if you're going to target a specific area, go to the densest populated part of it, and then hit that area and then branch out from that space. It's like if you take a dot and you draw it right in the center of a page, and then you go circle around that, and then circle around that, and then circle around that, and circle around that until you expand the area. And target these areas in specific ways. That way, they're in segments. Okay, so you got the first segment here, and then you're targeting the next segment and then the next segment. These segments are basically broken up into, you can break them up into plans or projects, and identify them so that way you can test market each segment and you can see which messages are reaching your entire market. And then you can flip flop the messages back and forth to see which ones work. So that's one of the best ways that I say. It also gamifies prospecting. So you're not mundane and you're not sitting there just calling people after person after person after person. You put a system behind it. And this in line is a part of the strategy. So these are all, I mean, remember, I'm talking about things that are part of the how, which is putting a little bit of the cart before the horse. You typically want to make sure you build yourself up into the belief structure. You're building a foundation in the culture inside of your business, and then you're moving towards the capabilities of your company before you look at strategy. But this will also help you paint the picture as you're building your capabilities. So number 1, self-talk and self-preparation, your morning routine, you're focusing on your outcomes, and your internal dialogue is positive. Number 2, you're looking at your local start point and you're building out from there, segmenting and categorizing your message so that way you can flip-flop and test it in the market to keep things fresh and keep your introduction flowing. You also want to work with your automated list. This is still part of number 2. You want to work with your automated list to maybe do a campaign when you're out there, introducing yourself in a PR way. So using like public relations is probably one of the best tools you can use when you're marketing something. So you don't sound salesy. You're actually introducing an opportunity and you're introducing ideas. You're not selling things, you're introducing ideas to your market. So remember that when you're getting going with your prospecting. Number 3, ask for referrals. Write that down. Ask for referrals. Whether you have customers, whether you have LinkedIn contacts on social media, whether you're going to a mixer and you're meeting some people for the first time or for the second or third time, you get on a podcast or you actually are listening to a podcast, type into the comments section. I'm looking for referrals. Here's my information. Do not hold shame when it comes to asking for referrals. You should ask for referrals anywhere and everywhere you are. You want to promote your business, and you should be promoting your business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is you. So whenever you get an opportunity to introduce what you do and what you are about and what you are promoting, take that opportunity and introduce it. When you're mixing, especially in public, and you're talking, most of the time, a lot of the conversations start off with, what do you do? This is your opportunity. Carve out that elevator pitch so that way you're able to introduce what you do and who you are on a regular basis. And that way you can even ease into that. It's like, if you know anybody that's looking for this kind of service, boop, boop, I'm your guy. So that's number 3. So 1, self-talk, self-preparation. 2, start local and move out. 3, ask for referrals. Now, number 4, this goes into the main core of where you start when you're beginning any project into business development, your belief. So there's belief and then there's believing. So you have 2 ideas here. When you believe something, you're believing in something that is happening and external. So you can believe in your product and service that it works. You can believe that your product actually does produce the things that it says it's going to do. You can believe that your service is going to give the solutions necessary to solve whatever problems your customers have, right? So that is you believing. Your belief is internal. Your belief is having the belief that your customers even want your product and care about you selling it to them. Your belief is understanding that your meeting is going to give you the outcome that you are presenting. When you go in to meet with your prospect, or you're meeting with a partner, or you're meeting with an investor, the outcome that you present in your mind, you have belief in. So when you're thinking about these, you can have fun with playing with the idea of believing and belief, and it actually builds emotion. This is the key to it all. The key to everything moving into strategy is having the emotional structure to get into that frame of mind and get into that how I'm going to get this done. It is stepping into a framework. And once you step into that framework, you actually produce results. We tend to feel that in a flow state. So when you're in your groove, people say, I'm in my groove, I'm in my flow. I'm putting my nose to the grindstone, whatever phrase you want to, that is an actual process of stepping into the strategy. And that has a lot to do with your emotional state. So your emotional state can be structured based on your belief structure and what you believe in. So think about that and play with it a little bit. That's number 4. Number 5, your ultimate performance state, or UPS. And I'm not talking about delivering packages, but I am talking about delivering the you that is necessary when you step into any situation. So when you go into a situation where you're negotiating, whether you're talking to your employees, whether you're talking to investors, you want to be in your UPS, your ultimate performance state. So how do we do this? Now, goes back to also kind of like your self-talk. So your ultimate performance state has to do with your self-talk, your focus, and your physical expression. So when you're doing these, you can have your ultimate performance state. You can get started first thing in the morning when you're having your talk to yourself. You're telling yourself, I'm the guy, I'm the girl, I'm ready to do this, I'm the one that's going to make it happen. Yeah, high five, let's go. It's this is getting yourself hyped up, and you're in your performance state. I don't think there's a problem doing that at all in the mirror. You can get these kind of things amped up in your body. As a matter of fact, just doing that right now, I feel juiced. I feel ready to rock and roll. And I guarantee if you tried it right now and just told yourself you have this, you got this under control, you're ready to rock and roll, and really do some movements into it and high five yourself and take a second to feel that, you'll be able to step into almost any situation and have a positive outcome. Okay, so that's number 5. Let's roll through these again. 1, self-prep. 2, start local and build out. 3, ask for referrals. 4, play with the idea of belief and believing. So you believe on the outside, your belief is inside. And number 5, your UPS, your ultimate performance state, delivering your ultimate performance state. those are the five topics, subjects that I believe and have belief in for you to be able to understand how you're going to get things done. When you put emphasis on a daily routine, and then you put strategy techniques into your prospecting uh, launch, when you're getting into your day and you're starting to figure out who you're going to talk to and how you're going to talk to them and all those kind of things, starting local and moving out is a great way to get that, and gamifying it on building the sections and building lists. And then also asking for referrals is a huge thing. One thing about the lists that I would like to really touch back on is when you're making calls, and you hear this a lot. If you make 100 phone calls, that's what you need to make 100 phone calls a day. Okay. So let's take a little second to talk about this, and then I'll expand on calling, and we'll talk more about cold calls in another call. But just keep this in the frame of mind with all of these five topics. When you're balancing out your how, and you're thinking of that number two, and you're building out a concept of who you're going to be talking to. If you talk to, say, more than 30 people in a day, you are biologically breaking down your ultimate performance state. And I say that because no matter how many times you work at it, the fatigue of dialing, emailing, face-to-face conversations, it will wear on every human being. And the more you do it, the more it wears on you. It's not a muscle that gets stronger. Your reactions and responses do get stronger, and you may be quicker to say a few things off the cuff. At the same time, the fatigue will always set in. My experience has really brought the 20. The number 20 comes up evenly. You're able to reach out to just enough people to where you are presenting yourself at your top level, and that you're not wearing down the process, and you're not wearing down your ability to be able to clearly communicate. The last thing you want to do is to get to number 30, 40, and pushing on, trying to make to 100 calls to where you are just not giving the energy necessary to grab your prospect. And then you're going to wind up having to call that person again and again and again, and until you can give them the value that they want to respond to. And in order to give that value, you got to have that ultimate performance state. That is key. Okay. So think about that when you're making those calls, breaking them into segments to where you're talking to 20 people a day. You can talk to 100 people a week. If you feel froggy and feel good, you want to increase that a little bit. It's all up to you. My suggestion is to break down 20 quality calls a day. Do some email automation that sends out sections of specific emails, breaking up your list. If you got a list of 250, send out a wide email on a 7-day campaign with a PR message that introduces you, introduces your company, and on the 7th email, hit them with an offer. And in the process, you can start calling those people individually, 20 at a time, introducing yourself, saying, hey, I sent you an email, just wanted to follow up with you. Or, hey, I sent you an email, really wanted to get your feedback on that. We're in the business, we're doing this, we're doing that, and get the conversation started. All right. So that's my my deal for today. Business development, working on 5 key points to how you're going to get this done. All right. So business development, BizDev Morning Brew here every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. If you want to join the call, let me know, send me a message. I'll give you the link. You can sit on the call with me and we can discuss some specifics that are pertaining to your business. Or if you just want to send me a message and want me to break down a subject like I just did today, I'm more than happy to. So next time, we'll see you. So this is our Thursday call. We will be back on the call, or I will be back and you will be back on the call Monday morning. And we'll start with a new segment that I'll throw out, which is called, which I do with my team, which is Monday Morning Makes Money. And we'll discuss getting your mind right to tackle the week to make sure you close deals by Friday. All right. So have a great weekend. Talk to you guys next time.